I watched a few of them.
No. Not that I noticed.
Oh, this is awesome. You can hear it in the thing.
Yeah, and you want to keep like the microphone. You can pick it up, take it with you, or whatever. But like we say, like a fist away from your face. It's pretty good.
It's really cool.
Think.
What's this big boy?
No idea.
I think we did this last year, actually.
This one doesn't look familiar, but maybe
Same brand, different
different brew. Gotcha.
And,
You all right over there, pal?
I feel so dumb.
All
right now.
bent around on you.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Wait.
Take me a second to get used to that.
Oh, that's
You're
fine.
in the audio.
Dude,
There you go. You got it, big man.
right now. All right.
Bro, Jesus Christ.
Check.
All right,
There
thank you.
go, baby.
I'm going to pull this out of here. I'm going to tuck in tight.
All right.
All right, man.
Ready?
I'm ready.
You good? Jesus
Definitely not
Christ.
doing the intro.
All right.
I couldn't even figure out the headphones.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour. I'm Mike Witzak.
My name is Rory Farrell.
And today we have a special guest.
Sammy Piccolo, a.k.a. Sammy Sells.
There you go.
Sells, welcome. Here,
Sammy
bring that
Sells.
close to you.
Thank you.
Sammy, where are you from? Who do you work with? What team? Tell us a little bit about.
So
where you come from?
In South Philly, typical South Philly Italian kid. You know, my whole family lived in a 5-block radius.
Yep.
Still do.
Still do. I'm an agent with Keller Williams, but I'm actually on a team, the Staywaz Group.
Okay, you can bring that with you too. Sit back if you want.
Awesome.
Yeah. If you want to sit back like this, you can take it with you. It's totally
Nice.
fine. Yeah. What were you gonna say? Cut me off. Were you gonna say anything?
Yeah. This is how it usually goes.
Nice.
This is as professional as our podcast.
Yeah,
gets.
we're not-
You're
we're
getting
not
the
very
real deal
professional.
right now. Cool. Well, I want to hear more about that, but first, what we do is beer. So it is another non-alcoholic. We're still in January. Sorry,
You're still in January,
I'm still
pal.
January.
I'm in January, and I'm
Sammy's
doing
on
fine.
board, dude.
I know,
said-
Sammy. I did. I messaged him like, "You want a beer?" He's like, "Nah, I'm good." I'm like, "Damn it." I'm
He
like,
said I
"Fuck."
Take a
inadvertently
nice
am.
non-alcoholic.
It is non-alcoholic. Yeah, this is Best Day Brewing. This is newer as of. Here, come on, pass that down.
Thanks, man.
It's newer as of the past couple of years. I've seen this around. They do a bunch of different styles. This one's Nature's Pills. They're out of Sausalito, but apparently this one's in partnership with the Conservation Alliance. So we're doing good.
Smells good.
Yeah. But yeah, just a classic Pilsner. Cheers.
right.
Thanks
Cheers,
for coming
guys.
down.
Cheers. Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
It's not bad.
Tastes like juice.
Like juice?
Yeah, like I would. It's like smells like juice to me. Kind of tastes a little bit like juice to me.
Like right up my alley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really light. It's got a little crispness to it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Not bad. 45 calories. If you're counting your calories, Mike.
I'm not at the moment, but yeah, maybe I will be. So
But yeah, it's funny. The group that you mentioned. Say it again.
Staywaz Group.
All right. So randomly enough, I was looking through your Instagram and I saw what's the guy's first name?
Ryan.
Ryan. Right.
You seen
So
that beautiful head of hair?
well, man, I'm jealous, dude. You guys got it good.
Yeah.
He was just on a different podcast, the Risk,
Yep.
Bricks and Risk
Yep.
podcast. We've known those guys. We're getting Sean on, I think, next week. And
I was just telling him about my shout out today.
Yeah. And Tim's been on the podcast already. So shout out to those guys, Bricks and Risk. Check them out on Spotify. What else? Podcast app,
Yep.
YouTube, all that
Yep,
stuff. So
yep.
yeah, those guys are awesome. And I recognized him from that podcast, and I was like, oh, I wonder how they're connected.
Recently, very recently, he was on on their pod.
So, yeah, listen to it. So cool. How did you get started with them? You said you've been in the business like 6 years. And
Been in the business.
Give us like a
this
quick
is my
update.
6th year. When I came in as a solo agent, I joined a team called the Stafford Group, and that was a split of like residential commercial team.
Cool.
So I did get a glimpse into commercial, but was really able to figure out on that team residential was the way I wanted to go.
Okay. What made you think that?
My sphere provided a lot of residential business, and I'd have to work a lot harder to get those commercial.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Than I would opposed to like my resi, and I'm 33 now. When I got in the business, I was at 27, so my sphere was just getting.
I'd say that's like that perfect time for like people buying their first house or even upgrading to their second house. But like
Correct.
that stage of life where all of your friends are probably doing the same thing.
just a sweet spot. Yeah, so my sphere was providing a lot of residential. That team dissolved. I decided to go solo. I stayed solo for like 3 years, really mastered in my residential with my sphere. But I wanted to start doing business with strangers.
Okay, cool.
and really like pushing my sphere out. And with that thought in mind, that's when I came across Ryan. Ryan, I thought he does a really good job of building out his database and making new connections. So I teamed up with Ryan March of last year. I joined the team, so we're
Okay, so
approaching
you're
like a full
close to
year
a year,
with the
yeah.
State
Okay.
Laws group, and
Nice.
so far so good.
So I mean, aside, I'm sure Ryan's group is great. I'm sure you like being a part of the team. You got to say that now anyway. But how did you like being a solo agent? Like, is there pros and cons to it, or?
Pros and cons for sure. I could start with the con being, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I work so much better around people to where, like, by yourself, you don't really have anyone to compare. You don't really have anyone to bounce ideas off of.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I work better in a people setting.
I mean, you just from 10 minutes of talking with you, you're a social guy. You like chat and you like
I like to talk.
Yeah, I mean, I would go nuts. We're both similar. It's like I would go nuts if I was sitting at my house by myself,
Yes,
trying to like bang my head off the wall. Like, how do I do business? And
Yeah.
am I doing anything right? Yeah.
Right, and we're in the roller coaster business, so sometimes when the ride's going down and you're by yourself, it can get scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes even a little depressing. But when I'm in a setting of people,
Yeah.
hearing other perspectives, hearing other people maybe going through the same problems you're going through, maybe people are going through the same wins you're going through, it just gives me a better perspective, and I feel like I hit my max potential
Yeah.
when I'm in an atmosphere like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's why we come into the office. We're in the office every day.
Yeah. Pretty
We're
much.
So,
office guys too.
Yeah, it's like I think it helps a ton with getting business and doing things. It's not to say like we're required to come to the office. If I want to take an hour off and go see Sammy in Philly, like I can go see you in Philly. You
Right.
know what I mean? But like it's just we're in the office every day. We're DMing people, making phone calls, doing stuff, and it's like
Filming
all right,
content together.
filming content,
doing
yeah.
stuff like this.
And it's like Tom's on the phone getting deals. You're like, shit, I want to get a deal. Today. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like you're trying to get a deal, and it's just like you bounce off of each other. Whereas if I was at home, I wouldn't do shit all day.
I don't get shit done.
No,
I mean,
dude.
my girl works from home too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
she's
You'd be playing video games, doing Legos all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Drinking actual alcohol during January.
procrastinated.
I mean, in fairness, outside of January, we also drink alcohol here.
Yeah, we drink
At least once a week.
We do a lot. So, but no, yeah, it's just I think it's such a better work environment to be in the office with people, especially in this type of career, like a commission-based sales career. So
You need to stay motivated. And some people have that where they can
Stay
keep themselves
motivated on their own.
motivated.
They can almost create competition amongst themselves, and I was never really good at doing that. We just merged. We were KW Philadelphia and KW Philly, two separate brokerages in the city forever. We just merged as KW and Power.
Power, yeah.
Biggest brokerage in the city. Has to be, I don't know, 600 agents.
Everyone.
Jesus
Yeah,
There's
you just
probably
you see their
25
name on everything.
There's 25 people in the office at any given day. So, like, where the other 575 people are on a day-to-day basis, I have no clue. But I think you do see a correlation of top producers showing up to the office.
yeah, I was about to say like those 25 people you see in the office. Do you feel like they're doing business or?
A ton of business.
Yeah.
ton
So
of business.
Yeah, it
Just
is
goes to
funny
show.
because like from 5 years ago, everyone was in the office, and now people have kind of gotten away from that with COVID and everything, technology, all that stuff. But it's like there is something traditional that works.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like COVID really pushed things. Some people are hybrid, some people are completely from home. It was always just assumed you're going to show up to the office and work. But
Yep.
now it's kind of opened up. But for me, I'm 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
We try to be in that office unless we have some legwork. But
yeah, no, I think it's great.
where all the magic happens, for sure.
Yeah. So and then you joined back in March. How did you meet your team? Were you just kind of working out of the same office and you ran into them, or did you hear about them?
They were in an office. I was at a desk 20 feet away, and his office has a huge window. And I would just stare at them. I'd be all by myself over there, and I would just stare
they
at
were
them.
zoo
They're
animals.
smiling, high-fiving, and I'm over here battling my battle on my own. But Ryan approached me. Asked if I'd be interested in joining a team because I kind of was putting my feelers out there. And he had something called Hell Week. He does like a week of onboarding to kind of show you like what the team can do for you. And
Okay.
I went through that and still wasn't 100% committed to join.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in destiny. We ended up getting tied into a deal together. He brought a buyer, I had a listing, and in that deal, I really got to see who he was.
Yeah. I mean, no better place to figure out how someone operates
Than getting into a
than
deal with him.
actually, being on opposite sides too.
Yeah, it really put me over the top with him. I really took a liking to him, and like immediately after we closed that deal, I joined his team.
Okay.
Nice.
That really like sealed the deal between the two of us.
Okay.
But,
Awesome.
He's
Now-
also he's like a health specimen, Ryan. He's up 4:30 in the morning every day. He's definitely counting his carbs.
Yeah.
He would not be having a drink with us here right now. But,
Okay.
Ryan, if you'd like to come on, we'll do a water episode.
but I needed that to rub off on me, for sure. I
Yeah.
really needed someone around me like that can rub off in a positive way, and he definitely did.
Cool.
I
so it
feel like
sounds
that's
like
what I do in this office, but it doesn't rub off very well. It's just everybody's like, you're
like,
a
"Shut up,
weirdo."
Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, you go through your phases, right?
Yeah, we all do, right?
I wanted to ask, and you may not be able to answer. This might be like a hazing thing. What is Hell Week? Like, what does that mean? Like, what kind of things
Sure.
are you doing during Hell Week that
You're
Sure.
going
He
for-
beat the hell out of me for 5 days in a row.
waterboarded me?
You get beaten with an agreement of sale. Yeah.
Like in that office, you got the second floor balcony. You're just dropping water down on someone, waterboarding him
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the second floor.
No, so it's just a full week of just, different things the team can provide. You're studying contracts, you're going over marketing, you're going over transaction coordination. It's like a really in-depth look at like the training the team's going to provide if you were to join.
Interesting.
Okay.
Like like a hands-on approach.
That must have been interesting for some. I mean, it's not like you were brand new and needed to learn all this stuff. Like, I'm sure you had a lot of this knowledge, so it must have been interesting for you to like see it from a different perspective. Like, how do they do it, and how can I improve about
For sure.
how I do it?
For sure, and I'm never afraid to go back to basics, and that's kind of exactly what I did. I was already in the business for 4.5 years, so you say to yourself, I already know what an agreement sale consists of until you hear it from another perspective.
Yeah.
I learned 3 or 4 new things in that class, so I'm happy I was humble enough to go back to basics.
That's what it was. It's going to be hard. Like, you've been doing real estate for 4 years, and somebody's like, oh, no, you need to do this. You're going to
Right.
tell this guy, screw off.
I have
Like,
no
don't-
problem doing that. I'm
Yeah,
that type
but that's
of guy.
good. That's why I think you molded so well with the team and you fit in well. Like it
For sure.
You got to be very moldable in this industry because you could have learned it one way, but somebody could do it a much better way than that way. They both might be right, but they might not be as efficient as each other.
For sure. Maybe the other way works better for you. or,
Yeah, it depends. So
real estate changes all the time. So
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's what they always say about coaching someone. It's like it's easier to coach someone from the start, right?
Right.
The right way to do something than like kind of unwind something. So
Have
the
to
fact
go
that
through
you
all their
are
bad habits.
open to learning probably negates that.
For sure.
You know?
yeah. Now
sure.
I guess let's go back to when you're 27 and joining real estate. Unless you want to touch anything
Yeah.
else on. Yeah. I just
baby.
wanted to go back a little bit and ask, like, how'd you get into real estate? Was it something? Did you start off?
I was always in sales.
Okay.
I was always in sales. So I mentioned to you I was a bartender at Xfinity Live for 6 years. And
Yep.
That's like the best form of sales.
Oh yeah.
You could talk to a drunk guy. You could talk to anyone.
That
So
was my whole experience. Well, you had asked me. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but bartending and then beer sales.
Right.
And then straight into this, and it's like that. I totally agree.
Such good practice.
Yeah.
Such good practice. And I also had a clothing line with my brother called Inner City Youth, and it eventually rebranded to Elevated. But my brother was the creator. I was the sales guy.
Okay.
I didn't want to hear anything about designs, fabrics, nothing. Just get it to me when it's done, and I'll sell the heck out of it.
And is he still into that?
He's still into that. Well, not into clothes. So he actually does content creation for car dealerships. He does it for businesses, but just found a niche with car dealerships. And
Cool.
then so he's still in that creation space. And then I went into sales.
Yeah.
I actually, my like thing in the sales was I got recruited off the bar by a woman from New York Life.
Okay.
We were having like a 20-minute conversation, and she's like, you're really good at talking to people, working with people. Like, have you ever thought about a different form of sales? So she was telling me a bit about what she'd done. She's like, why don't you just come in for a presentation at least to see what we can offer?
Cool.
And they busted out the PowerPoint, and like, you can make $500,000 this year. And I think that really opened my eye up to just like the potential in sales.
Yeah.
I always hated the fact, bartending, that I can work 5 times as hard as the guy next to me, but we were going to make the same amount.
Pulling those
that
tips,
night.
yeah.
Yeah, but in that space, it's like, if you could find 100 people that need insurance this year, this is what you can make. You can make $1 in a day, or you can make 100,000 in a day.
Yep. Yeah.
And then I went home and I'm like, well, I'm only 27. I don't know anyone who needs life insurance. But that put me down the rabbit hole. And it was actually my mother who said, I think you'd be really good at real estate.
Yeah.
That pushed me in. I took the test, and the rest is history.
And what did she have a background in real estate, or like
No,
what
she's
made her think that
paralegal.
particularly? She could have went with any sales industry.
I think just my age, people, I was saying, Mom, who's going to need life insurance? I think she was saying, well, maybe not life insurance, but,
Houses.
the houses, your generations.
It's a good old Italian mother right there. My mom always used to look at me like, "You be a great realtor." I'm like, I don't know what that means, but they just all say it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's the truth though. Like I think a lot of people. I got the same exact thing too. Like, oh, you should get into some sort of sales, like real estate or something. And I always took it with a grain. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be a realtor. Like I'm gonna go to school and join the military or whatever. And then didn't do any of that and ended up getting into real estate. And I think it just goes to show, like, some people know you better than you know yourself at times. Yeah, so it's like
you're in like your own box, somebody outside of your box. It's
yeah, you got this. Perfect. I thought I was James Bond until I was 21 years old. And I was like, oh shit, Daniel Craig doesn't do any of that stuff. Yeah. So it's just one of those things that when you hear from somebody else, you don't think about it. You're like, no, I'm not gonna be. I wouldn't be a good realtor. Yeah. But then, hey, who knows? Maybe you are.
Right.
So worked out.
Unless you try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you went from sales and bartending and stuff like that, pretty much right into real estate, like at a younger age.
For sure. Yeah. I kind of didn't even realize I was in sales while I was bartending. I didn't realize I was in sales. I was just a bartender.
Yeah, just having fun.
When we were selling the clothes, I didn't even see myself as a salesman. I wasn't really thinking of it. I've never had a corporate job before. So I never thought of it from that perspective.
Yeah. You never worked for New York Life.
That was actually I never worked for New York Life. But that was a cool thing about joining with Ryan's team. Not that they're a corporate team, but he was able to show me corporate structure.
Yeah.
That I was lacking on my own. So,
yeah.
I love the fact that I could still be myself, still have that personal relationship with people. But we are helping people buy, sell, and invest in the biggest asset they're probably ever going to come across. So I was missing that bit of structure.
Yeah, professionalism, or maybe not professionalism, but yeah, like
in
you
a
said.
way, that professionalism to where great conversation, right intentions, right knowledge behind what I was trying to do, but the system didn't feel as tight as it should. But
yeah, cool.
Adding a couple things, I think now we're really systematized.
And how big is his team?
I love it. You could feed the whole team with 2 pizzas. There's only 6 of us.
It's a good way to put
especially
it.
Ryan. I don't think he's a pizza guy based on what you said.
Maybe once
he might
a
have
month.
one slice.
Yeah, maybe once a month.
It's cheat days.
Yeah, we're a very small boutique team.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think there is something to be said about that, because you don't get lost you're on a team.
For
You
sure.
don't get lost in the shuffle, so you get all the benefit of kind of bouncing stuff off people, and
For sure.
you're not out there solo, but you're not also lost in the shuffle.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, we say it all the time. Like, if we worked for Bank of America, we wouldn't work there. It's like this tight little
You're just another
family.
employee.
I mean, we're
Yep.
a family. Like, you've known Tom's nephew, I guess.
Yeah.
For your whole life.
Pretty
Tom's mom works here. My father used to work here. My sister-in-law works here.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like,
I didn't know
we
that.
keep
Yeah.
it very tight. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom's best friend from high school works here, so
Yeah.
it's a very tightly ran ship. But I think that's what makes it work too. Is we're not just like a bunch of workers together. It's it's like a second family. Yeah,
You
so
become a family, and that's what we like to say for each other. And we have one agent, Christiana. She actually came here from Greece, so she really doesn't have that much family here.
yeah.
So we kind of all see
Very cool.
each other as an extended family for sure.
Yasu. That's all I
No one
got.
knows what that means.
That's all I got. But no, that's awesome, and I think it makes it so much better to show up to work too. I get excited to come into work, I'm like, I get to break Rory's balls all day and hang out. It's great. It's a blast.
The camaraderie.
He learns a lot from me, being I'm slightly older than him and more experienced.
Extremely older than me and more experience. But it's a lot of fun, and it's just makes work so much better,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So what do you, you've been with the team for a year. What are you excited about for 2025? Whether it's personally, team-wise, real estate-wise,
I have a good feeling about real estate in 2025.
Yeah.
I know me and you were talking a bit when I came in. I'm noticing a lot of people are starting to get off the bench.
Oh, good.
But what I like about it is they're getting off the bench and not for a specific announcement or a piece of fake news.
Yeah.
I think
there's plenty.
I think people are setting into reality.
Yeah.
I think
totally
they're starting
agree.
to adapt with the way the rates have been the rates now for a couple years. Home prices have been home prices for a couple, and
they're not going down.
Going anywhere.
Yeah.
Inventory's been inventory. So I think people are getting ready to adapt.
Yeah.
And life goes on.
Which I'm hopeful for too. I think that's like a great way to put it, because people have been sitting like on the sidelines for 3 years now.
Yes.
And I think they're like, oh, but rates aren't coming down.
How long am I going to wait?
Yeah. So, and you can't have 4 kids in the starter home that you bought,
Right.
5 years ago with 2% interest rates. Like it's not going to happen.
We're
So
waiting for the
No
rate.
matter how good
Yeah.
that rate is. Yeah.
Your kid's living in the closet.
Yeah.
Right to come down.
Exactly. So somebody's gonna have to move at some point in time, and it looks like it's finally starting to happen. So
For sure. I'm definitely feeling that.
good. I'm glad to hear from your side of things too, because we typically hear after they talk to you, we hear from them then, So
Right.
it's like when we're hearing realtors are starting to see people come off the benches and
It's
want to
just
start
right
doing
behind,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
It'll
It's
be
good.
right to you guys. I'm sure you're probably already seeing it.
A little bit. Yeah.
You're seeing a little bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, these past couple of weeks I feel like I'm like, I don't know how to work like this. I haven't been this busy, and again, I was telling you guys, but like, it's not concrete. Like, hey, these are deals that are happening. I'm making money on these and people are getting houses, but it's a ton of pre-approvals and pre-qualifications and estimates being written and things like that, that all of a sudden I got this deluge of those coming in, which will in turn into
course.
things eventually.
Pipeline's
But
starting to build.
yeah, it just feels that way now, these past 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we'll see what February brings us, but
I have a really good feeling for this year. I do. And I think after Super Bowl, you'll start to see the spring market.
hope so. Hopefully we see spring weather, because this is bullshit.
Oh yeah.
7
It's-
degrees, I'm over it.
It's actually a winter for the first
Yeah,
time in a while.
proper winter.
Yeah.
So are you still down in South Philly then? Is that
Still down in South Philly.
yeah?
Yep.
Do you tend to do a lot of your business down there, or like where do you get most of your business done?
I'd say most of my business is in South Philly, like south of the buildings. But I actually am licensed in New Jersey as well.
Okay, cool.
But I only do business in like the immediate South Jersey area.
Yeah.
Cherry Hill, Deptford, Audubon.
Yeah.
That's basically Philly.
Yeah, basically Philly.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of short business at like Ventnor Market.
Yeah.
But most of my business is in Philly.
Yeah, we're big. Like that's all of our areas too. We're the same way. We're licensed in Jersey and PA, and we have a few people licensed in Florida. And then it's the same type of thing though. Like we don't do too many deals in Jersey. I'd say it's a good here and there thing.
20%.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like
Same.
right over the bridge or down the shore, Margate,
I do
Ventnor.
a fair amount up in North Jersey, only because my wife's from North
Yeah,
Jersey.
you
So like
do.
I do have some family and some connections up there, but yeah, it's
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of my business. Like I wouldn't say a lot, but 30-40% is like Poconos. That's where I grew up. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
it's where your sphere is, where your people are. Kind of
Right.
like
We're
what
at
you're
in
saying.
Poconos, like near Lake Harmony at all?
yeah, like 30 minutes away from Lake Harmony. That's where we had like our prom party and
All
stuff.
right,
was
yeah,
in
that's
Lake
where we
Harmony,
used to go. We used to go get the cabin out for the weekend.
Yep. Yeah, we had
Snowboard a little bit.
a girl in high school that we were all friends with. Her dad had like a bunch of Airbnbs up there, so he'd be
right.
like, "I'll just take a house for the weekend." We're like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
But like right outside Jim Thorpe,
Nice.
Lehighton, the Turnpike exit right there is where my mom's at, and my dad's like a little bit more in. So
They're still there.
yeah, they're still
Nice.
both up there. They moved out. They were in Port Richmond for 40 plus years, and then
Wow.
moved up there and never came back. Yeah, so.
Not too many people make it out.
No, yeah. So it's funny you say that, because I feel like they move up there now and they're like, everything's so quiet, there's nothing to do, so they want to come back, and I'm like, don't come back.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, my father moved to Vineland, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
He
cousin
wanted
lived
some land. He had like 3 or 4 acres. He's on like an old strawberry farm.
Oh, nice.
But he actually loves it.
Yeah. That's my dad loves it too. My dad's like, if I can get another acre or two of land, he'd stay up there for the rest of his life. My mom's the one that wants to move back down. She's like, she's always like looking for something to do or hang out
Right.
with her. All of her girlfriends are down here, and my
Right.
aunt's down here, so she's like trying to get back down here. So we'll see.
Maybe you guys can move in together.
She says that.
Talk
shit.
about Italian, right?
Bro, you-
Moving in with your mom living with you?
Oh, my mother would take me back tomorrow
yeah.
morning.
Oh, my mom would take me back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, she would. I don't know if I'd go back in a
Yeah.
heartbeat, because look, I love my mom to death, but she always says to me now, she's like, "Oh, I'm getting older, and yeah, I'll just build a plot like on your land. I'll just build
Oh,
like a
God.
home or something."
All
I'm
our
like-
mothers are the
I'm
same.
I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? No, like, who gave you permission to do it? She's like, you wouldn't let me live in your house with you? I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, Mom, you can move in tomorrow.
Totally would.
Yep, totally.
Definitely.
Love you.
I'm the middle child, so I have a younger brother and an older brother. I think I am the favorite, but my mother always tells me, just save a little bit of space for that in-law suite.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't live with Michael, but I'm going to come live with you.
That's the
what
catch-22 of being the favorite. You're like, oh, that's great, but you also are going to be living with me until you're 60.
Uh-huh.
That's funny.
Love my mom to death, but yeah,
They're all the same.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Love you, Mom. But yeah, no. So I don't even know how the hell we got on that topic.
That's fine.
Oh, the Poconos.
That's how this podcast goes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in where realtors get the majority of their leads, because I mean, obviously, there's a million different places. You get your Sphere, you get your CRMs, you got past clients, stuff like that. Like, where do you feel like, especially recently, where are you getting most of your leads from?
I was very, very, very lucky to be born and raised in the city in South Philly. Like a lot of people, we have agents coming in from Kansas City. How does a guy from Kansas City begin? You have to really
pound the pavement. Yeah,
pound that pavement. To where I was getting a lot of referral business from the start.
Yeah.
How I really got started with listings, because I would naturally just get buyers from my Sphere, but I would cold call properties. I would call it driving for dollars. I would drive around and try to find like banged up properties with mail hanging out the mailbox. Like you could just tell when a property hasn't been maintained.
That's guerrilla right there. That's
trace that number, call, see if they're looking to sell. I would know my number, I can pay for it. But what I would do is once I find somebody willing to sell, I would take it to a couple developers. And at the time, everyone was still wholesaling, which I know is dying down a lot. But I would tell a guy, look, I could sell you this house for 120, but I'm not. I'll give it to you for 105. I'll give you a $15K discount on the inside, but when you're done developing it, promise me the listing. Mm-hmm. And that's how I would build my own listings. And now I get the listing, I'm doing open houses, I'm doing marketing, just listed, and able to suck in more business from that listing. So driving for dollars put me in the game. And I met a developer for High Top Development. He had a building on like 25th in Washington, like maybe 50, 60 units. And he gave me the first right away to lease those units up.
That's awesome.
So I was just cleaning up with leases, helping my Sphere buy, and working on those drive for dollar lists. And
that's just like old school hustling.
The way
it's like thinking outside the box and being like, no,
that's South Philly. That's South Philly right there, baby. Yeah. That's what I like to hear.
There's no secret sauce.
Nah, dude.
There's not.
It's a grind. That's all it is.
Grind.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All three of those still work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They all still work.
I'm gonna go make some phone calls after this.
Yeah, you're inspiring Mikey over there.
No.
Right. No one likes them, but do you hit them?
Yeah, I mean, I try to every once in a while, especially when I'm slow like this. But I wouldn't say I hit them as hard.
Realtors that we're hitting the phones on. Like, people don't know what we do. Like, if you're a first-time home buyer, like someone who's inexperienced in real estate, like they don't know what a loan officer is. They don't know that you need us before they need you. Like, you need to know, you know what I mean? Correct. So like I showed Mike my list. Like, we have Zillow leads with a couple of different teams, and for years I would keep it in documents like, all right, this is who I called, when I called them, how often I followed up, what was the response, and I was diligent about it. I was like very organized.
You have to.
And I looked at it, and it was like thousands of people, and I think I got like, I don't think I got one deal out of it.
No, you never got a deal out of it. I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, and it's just, they don't want to hear they want to hear, oh, realtor's exciting. They know what you do.
Yeah, we
right?
see it. We see it. I have to like really, really beat into their head how important you guys are. Mm-hmm. You're the money.
Yeah.
You're the money. And
but it's not exciting though. They don't want to hear about it.
They don't want to hear about it. But I won't move forward with a buyer unless they're pre-approved. And I really feel like it's a disservice letting them move forward without it, because you're on Zillow looking at $500,000 homes, and you don't even know what that consists of. Like, what's that look like cash up front? What's that look like on a month-to-month basis?
Especially now, you tell someone what a $500,000 house looks like on a monthly basis. They're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like, so if we were to call, like when we call clients, it's hard to go, hey, are you looking to get into the real estate market? Are you trying to go out shopping? And they're like, yeah, we'd love to. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go through let's see if you're pre-qualified. And they're like, well, can you show me like this house or that? I'm like, no, I'm not a realtor. Like, this is what I do. I pre-qualify you. And they're like, oh, well, why would I do that right now? Like, why do I want to do that?
And then that's your best case scenario. That means you've talked to them on the phone.
Yeah. Right.
They haven't shut you down from the minute one.
So it's like, and then realtors, we're in house with a couple offices. Like, one of the offices I work is a pretty big office. There's like 400 agents, but you have to, like you were saying about KW Philly, you have 600 agents, right? So out of 600 agents, you said there's like 25 in the office, which is a good number to have in the office. And then, so like 25 out of 600 people are probably doing most of the business. So say like out of 600 people, there's probably 70 to 80 really big producers in Philly that are like crushing the market.
For sure.
And then another like 400 that do 0 to 1 deal a year.
For sure. And that's probably every brokerage, not just Keller Williams.
That's, no. Yeah, sorry. That's like
well,
every
you'll see
brokerage.
A small percentage.
not
the
90% or 90% of the money is made by 10% of the people, right? So
There
it's
you
like
go.
it's the same way with this brokerage that we work with. Like it's the same way with every
Yep.
brokerage. I'm not just saying KW Philly, but it's
Empower.
like, is that what it is now? Sorry,
Empower,
KW
yeah.
Empower.
How dare you?
Power.
But yeah, like so that's mainly who I'm hitting is these realtors. I'm calling them and just trying to like stay in the back of their mind. So when they do get a deal, or there might be one or two a year that they get, but they're thinking of me. You know what I mean?
Of course,
Like,
you want to stay top of mind in this business.
Absolutely. So that's
Sure.
that's like the phone calls I'm making most of the time is I'm hitting those numbers. But other than that, like there's not, unless we're paying for leads, there's not like great way. I can't go call expired listings and be like,
Right.
hey, you want a pre-approval? So it's mainly the most of the time I'm DMing realtors.
Right.
Like DM people or reaching out to the podcast and trying to get people on because this is like our best way to.
Yeah, we're almost like the bridge for lenders to the buyer.
Oh, we're completely reliant on you guys.
Yeah, I know a lot of
Not completely, but
a lot of lenders I talk with are trying to find a way to flip the script, and not that they want to take power away from us, but they just would like a little bit more power in their hands to say like, how can we bring them in first, because finances are just as important.
Yeah, and I also think too, sometimes like we look at it like, how can we give you value, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if I had a way to get leads and be like, hey, you're pre-qualified, and I call you up, you're gonna be like, dude, this guy rules. Like, you
Right.
give me a pre-qualified lead that I
Right.
can go show homes right now. Like, what?
and by the way, they're looking in South Philly
Right.
and they're 500,000. Like
It's a layup.
Yeah,
right?
it's a
yeah.
layup.
So it's like if we have that option to provide you with that value, we're absolutely gonna do it. It's
course.
just like, how the hell can we do it? I don't.
Yeah, realtors ask me all the time, like, well, can you get me leads? And something like, I get 3 leads a year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like maybe a half dozen a year.
And that's just based on buyer mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
just don't
And
know.
if I get a lead up in where I live in Doylestown, am I gonna give it to you? Probably not, because
Right.
you
Just
don't
doesn't
know
fit
that
my
market as well
market,
as
yeah.
my Doylestown guy, or vice versa. Like where if
Right.
it's a South Philly guy, I'm like, well, yeah, give it to Sammy. Like I'm
Right.
not gonna give it to the guy up in Bucks County who's gonna not only have to drive all the way down there, but not know the market.
And not know the market, right?
So it's like, and that's the value that we can provide to the clients. Like I'm gonna provide you with the best person to get the job done for
for
you.
exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like, let's say we do get a half a dozen, but then we got to spread them out to the right people. And we also have a dozen or 20 different agents that give us business
Right.
throughout the year. It's like, it's just not a value that comes along that often for us to give to you guys. So
Right.
it's like,
And
I would love to.
I feel heartbroken sometimes because I wish I had 1 million buyers that I could just give them to every lender.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I do 25 deals a year, maybe 10 or 12 of them were buyers.
Half of them are cash.
Yeah, maybe some of them are
Probably.
cash, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
say I only have 8 leads, you really have to, I'd love to give them to everyone, but
Yeah.
there's just,
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's all the hustle we're on. So,
For
what,
sure.
what we've done over the past couple of years, especially with this podcast, is like, how do we get our arms around the most amount of agents? So like maybe you only give us 1 or 2 a year, but then 10 other agents give us 2 or 3 or 1 or 2. It's like
sure.
all of a sudden you're not all eggs in one basket where
Right.
that guy, my dad used to be in this business and he had an agent who switched brokerages and they had an in-house and she was not loyal. And next thing you know, like 80% of his business was gone.
Right.
And he's like, well, shit.
too
now.
many
Yeah.
eggs in one basket. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would love a ton of deals from one person, but I also don't want to be relying on it.
Right.
So
Right.
it's kind of like what you're saying with how you get your business. You can't just get leads from one source. You got to get them from everywhere.
For sure. Now we do buy Zillow leads.
How do you feel like they work?
Really good.
Good?
I'm pretty good at convert. If I get you in person, you're converted.
Yeah. Well, that's key, right? Getting someone on the phone and then getting them in person.
Getting them. If I get you in person, you are converted. But I hate to say it, but they really are. They have the most data in the business for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
Zillow
yeah.
seems. Although I have worked with realtors who said they like Realtor.com. I think, who knows why? But
Yeah, some realtors like that. Some realtors like Zillow. Some realtors like other. I don't know.
Realtor, it depends on what zip you're going to buy in. I was buying in a zip to where if you threw $3,000 a month at something, for me that's a lot of money.
Sure.
But compared to some of these people in the market share, it's just not even worth it. They're spending $10,000, $12,000
Yeah.
a month.
Oh yeah.
So I was with Realtor.com and I didn't get anything.
yeah, and you're like, shit.
I cried broke and terminated early.
Yeah, you're like, I need one. I need one to cover this. at
Zillow's
least, right?
Zillow's pretty good at this.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, it's always interesting because some people are really good at converting Zillow, and other people just aren't. And other people are really good at door knocking or cold calling, and other people aren't. So
Each his own. I mean, conversations is the lifeblood of the business.
Yep.
Like we have to be having conversations with people about real estate every single day, and some people thinks the phone's the only way to lead gen, and it's not.
No.
The phones aren't for everyone. So maybe
Yeah.
you like to sit open houses.
or even if you are good at the phones, it's like you can't. Again, all eggs in one. You can't just be like, I'm just going to call 200 people today. It's like, you got to go to open houses. You got to door knock. You got to, DM people. You got to Instagram. You got to get on a podcast. You got to, send mailers out yearly or whatever. So it's like I always reference this back, but Jeff Silva was on a couple years ago, a year and a half ago. And he said, he's been in the business for 20 something years. And he's like, we still do all the old stuff, but we also have to adapt and learn how to do the new stuff too, because you need to hit it at all angles if you're going to be successful.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's why we started this podcast. Because COVID happened and we used to go into offices and meet people, and not every office is like your office where you can actually run into people. And it's like all of a sudden we're like, where the hell is everyone? And then how do we get in front of realtors, and how do we provide value? And here it is.
What better way?
Yeah. And it didn't start this way either. We just started, me and him, just like being in front of the camera and like putting ourselves out. And then we kind of adapted and we're like, well, how else can
naturally let's bring on?
Yeah. So who knows? We're bringing on appraisers this year. We're bringing on insurance guys this year.
I would love to like expand the horizon to just like having successful business owners on, or like restaurateurs or whatever, like whoever wants to come on it has a financial background that can talk about like investing or their business or how they grew things. Like I'd just love for it to be an educational, like a financial educational podcast.
And just to support local,
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
So, but yeah, you want to touch on anything else? You want to do a win? You want to?
Can I do a win?
I told him about the win. I don't know. You have a win in your head?
I have a bunch of wins.
All right,
you do 2 wins, and I'll take one of yours.
So last year I sold the most real estate I've ever sold.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was in a really, really, really
tough
year.
Yeah, if you can, I tell him, if you can succeed in the last year or two,
then you'll be just all right in these next few years. But I completely agree. If you were able to make it through 2023, 2024, then you'll be all right in this business. Well, when I got in the business, you could close your eyes and sell the house. You just at that 3% rate, I didn't understand how much it was benefiting my business at the time, because it happened very quickly when I got in the business. They were at like 5.5 or 6 when I got in.
Say 6 years ago, it was 2019.
2019.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go they were in the high 3s, 4s, and then up until 2022. When did it start going up?
Started to turn at 22.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand how much business was coming my way, because it was essentially free money.
Yeah.
And then when rates came up.
And there was more inventory back then too.
Yeah. I think as of like 2 years ago, it completely shifted to a skill-based market.
Yeah.
So you actually have to know what you're doing out here now.
And hustle.
Buyers were just DMing me in the beginning. We want to buy. You were showing them a $300,000 home, $400,000 home. That payment was cheaper than they were paying in rent.
Yeah.
It was a layup.
Made
Same
perfect
thing,
sense.
With a sale, I really didn't even have any social media going at the time. I would put it on the MLS. I would sell the house before we were even able to get full pictures in, or before we were able to hang up a sign. Then you swap to this market and you say, all right, this is what it's really like.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think people are adapting to that too, as we spoke about. But
and what do you think? Why was it last year one of your better years? Like, was there something different, or things just started clicking, or it's just kind of the rule of the longer you're in this business?
I think I was just missing that structure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was just too much all over the place. And the more business you start to bring in, the harder it becomes to manage.
For sure, yeah.
I think I was just missing that little bit of corporate vibe to really like dial in my systems.
Yeah. I mean, we just had Darcy on. She's right over there. And she said she joined the team last year and she like doubled or tripled her business in 1 year.
Yeah, she crushed it last year. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, just from joining a team.
Right. And I didn't just join a team. I interviewed every team in the city.
Did you?
Brokerages. I was really shaking the pot to see who can provide what I need.
What you needed.
A lot of agents are like scared when they interview with a team, and you're not at a job interview. The team needs you just as much as you need them. Like, don't be afraid to ask those tough questions and really make sure you know what you're missing in your business, so you know what to ask.
Better to figure out now before you join the team, and then
for sure.
Like, then you feel committed.
Some people do, and then they're like, now you're in an awkward space where you don't want to leave the team. It's another awkward conversation to have. But don't be afraid, when you're joining these teams, to ask tough questions, put them on the spot, and make sure that they're actually going to provide what you need and what they're saying they will provide.
Right, man. Well, congratulations. That's huge.
That's
telling him too. You had your best year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And
good man.
I did not. But I had the benefit of being in the business for almost 9 years now. So it's like I had those really good years of refi business and stuff.
Yeah.
So
the roller coaster
it's hard
ride.
to top those. I'm open to it at some point, but 2024 wasn't the year to top the refi.
That's
business.
all good.
But
did you beat 23? Yeah, so that's all that matters.
It's progress, but no, and talk about being part of a team and like feeling other people's successes. Like I was stoked for you last year, like watching your numbers grow and like watching you chase me, and like it was
awesome.
It was fun to watch that.
Oh,
create some
thanks,
fun
dude.
competition.
Thanks, Boomer.
We'll hug that out later on.
Yeah.
That's a killer win, and we appreciate you coming all the way up here from
I
South
appreciate
Philly.
you guys having me.
Yeah, it
dude,
was
thank
fun.
you so much.
Did-
Yeah,
wasn't
shout out to
everything
my
you thought it
boy
was gonna
South
be?
Philly Vinny
Yeah,
for making the
yes.
connection.
Yeah, South Philly Vinny, past guest, and
Texted me, hit me up. Was like, yo, you think you can get Sammy on the pod? I'm like, absolutely, get him on. Yeah.
I appreciate you guys, but yeah, this was definitely what I expected. I love that there's no like script or anything like that. It's just an open conversation platform.
Yeah, it's all of my favorite podcasts are just a couple guys shooting the shit, like being real. Like you get to feel like you get to know people, and that's why we started this. Like
people come in here with like handshaking, sweating, like super nervous. If I gave them a script,
I was a little
read,
nervous
like,
to come in here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it's my first time being on a pod. But
yeah, man.
It's
So
very
it's like
natural.
People like it's unnatural. You're not used to being on camera. You don't like talk like this every day. But then as you start talking, like we kind of just get into a flow of things, and you forget about it. You forget you're even on camera.
Yeah, within 10 minutes, people are like, okay, cool.
Yeah, for me, it took me about 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes in, and I was just, you're in a natural conversation.
So maybe you'll start your own for 2025.
Yeah, I would love to get into this space. Yeah, I would love to get into this space. I'm trying to put out more social media content.
Yeah.
Like I just had a reel. It had 45,000 views, and I'm thinking, man, how else are you going to connect with 45,000 people?
For free.
If I sat there and called and just said, I'm Sammy, I'm a realtor, and hung up, it would take me a year to reach out to 45,000 people. So
yeah,
it's
that's awesome.
I mean, eventually they're going to start charging for it. So get it in now while you can.
Right. I don't think we understand how valuable it is that us three can jump on here and talk for free to however many people.
42 minutes now at this point, and it's like, people might not tune into the whole thing, but that's why we put together those reels and those clips and stuff. And
yeah, some people are into the pods. Some people like that short content.
Your mom will watch us for sure.
Yeah, my mother's watching all 45 minutes. She may watch it 3 times over.
We'll send her the raw footage by the end of the day. Well, no, seriously, thank you for coming up here. Appreciate it. It was
really
a great
appreciate
guest.
you
It was a lot of
guys having
fun.
me on.
And
Pleasure,
let us know how 2025 goes.
I definitely will.
All right. Cheers.
Cool.
Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
guys. Happy Friday.
Cheers.
The fire. Broken spirit, some assembly required. It confirmed the dormant no